everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Product Inspiration series. Today we're diving into the latest innovations in Service Cloud version 2, specifically focusing on intelligent service order management. I'm joined by Saurabh, our product manager for this solution. Hi Saurabh.
Hi, thanks for having me. I am excited to be here today and talking about service order management in SAP Service Cloud version 2.
Perfect. Let's start with the first question. Why did SAP invest in this new integrated service order process?
Yeah, SAP is investing in enhancing service order management in a Service Cloud V2 to streamline and integrate service process with our core ERP system, that is S4HANA, using an architecture that can scale up from simple to very complex service scenarios. This helps to bridge the gap between the front office and the back office service operations, ensuring a seamless customer experience, even the process can be very complex, and improving the operational efficiency as well. In addition, we have added a lot of business AI feature already, and we are in the process of adding more that will make the process more efficient.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, what concrete scenario does this new solution offer?
With this innovation, we are introducing a bidirectional replication between Service Cloud V2 and S4HANA private editions if the customer has service module. This means an agent can create and manage service order directly from Service Cloud V2 with real-time updates between these two systems. Further, it integrates with Service Cloud V2 case and can be created as a follow-up, thereby helping the agent to view and manage the customer issues holistically rather than working on different transactions. Additionally, an agent can now also see the installation point, install base, various interactions that happen with the customer in one place rather than navigating with different work orders. So this is the holistic solution rather than working on transactional and operational process.
That sounds like a significant improvement. Lastly, how can customers adopt service order management in Service Cloud version 2?
Customer currently using Service Module Cloud V2 and S4HANA Service Module of Private Cloud Edition can easily adopt this solution. This setup involves simple configuration in the integration between the two systems. So we are providing the iFlows for that. We provide detailed documentations and support to guide customers through this process. Plus, the solution is also designed to be extensible because we understand the need of these industries, allowing customer to adopt service order and integration flow to their specific needs. But now let's take a closer look into the system, the service order management in SAP Service Cloud V2 in action. Thank you. Let's jump into the system.
Let us take a scenario where the customer has called with the printer issues. So once the customer is identified in the agent desktop, what you can see is the service order is well integrated into the timeline. And for the customer, we can see all the service order status, different service order status, lifecycle status changes, and all other information which is required for this customer. The agent can jump in to any one of them. Agent can also search for a specific service order by clicking on the filtering the service order entries and clicking on the service order ID and searching with that. If in case a new service order needs to be created because it requires a field visit, the agent can start with a case. As I mentioned, that case will be a more holistic process of handling the scenario. Our agent can directly start with the service order. Let me start with the case. I'm in a case which a reference number the customer already provided to the agent, and from the case I can see that there is already in the all entities there is already a service order which was created and the repair was done and set to completed. But because the customer has still some problem, I choose to create a service order as a follow-up. This helps me to see the previous service order as well as create the new service order for any field visit. So description and all important information are captured. Filling in all the information, I hit on save and open. So here is our service order 1936, which is already created, and with all the information which we have entered. So the priority I can change further. I make it to very high because this is second issues which was reported, and let me hit over the notes. We can add the customer information, the customer description of the issue, and I can also type in the internal memo to the internal team who will be working in the backend system. Now I have created two notes, one for the customer where they mention about the heating issues, and also the lot of noise, which is the current problem. And then I have also put a notes for the internal team to treat this issue urgently. I reviewed the product, that is the printer. I can see all the parties has been determined, and I can see, as because it is created from a case, there is a case number, and now we have the service order number. Also, I know that I can check also the timelines where we can see the priority being changed, all the important event, and also I hit on the items. So normally I know there are a couple of items which is required for the repair. Let's add some item. I haven't added an item because I know that normally it takes 1 hour for repair, but the service manager in the backend can change the time based on his understanding. With this, I am good to go, and I will hit on replicate to send it to the backend. Once I click on replicate, there is a confirmation ask, and notice that the status changes to in process and replication message is triggered is shown. Once the replication is successful, what we can see the external ID coming from S4, and also the ID also shows up in the document flow. Let me show what are the information which has been sent back from S4 after successful replication. What we can see is that credit status, which is credit check pending. This comes from S4, and we also have the external ID, which was mentioned earlier. And what we can also see is the price, the net amount, gross, and the tax amount. And if I go to the item level, we can also see the price, which is there in the item level, the item lifecycle process status, and also the credit status in the item level as well. Now let us hit the backend system, that is S4, and do certain changes. I have navigated to the S4HANA private cloud and have opened the same order. What we can see is the price and all information are shown, which was successfully replicated. If I scroll down, I can see the priority, the status, all of the informations. What you can see is even the notes has also appeared, which was captured and sent, and the items. So now as a service manager, while inspection, I can also see the equipment, which was replicated, the serial number. So during this, I have noticed a couple of things which needs to be changed. I noticed that the priority is very high and I cannot achieve this, so I have changed it to high. For the date, because of some capacity issue, I cannot deliver from 16th, I can only do in 17th, so I changed the date as well. And the time to repair is will take more than 1 hour. I have changed into 2 hours. I have added another parts that will be used. After doing these changes, I'm happy, and now I will release it. Finally, the service order in S4 is released. Let's go back and see what happened in Service Cloud in the meanwhile. What you can see is that release status has come back to Service Cloud V2 for the Service Cloud V2 service order. It has been cleared back. And what you can see, the credit status has also changed. And if you recollect, the priority was changed from very high to high. This has also reflected back. The dates were changed. All the important changes which was done are also reflected back, including the price. And if you go back to the items, we can see the additional item which was added by the service manager is also added. In terms of timeline, we will be able to see additional timelines like the change of the priority as well as the release status which was done are also added up. Now let us see how it appears in the case. In case, we can see the service order which was created along with the status, and the agent can navigate into the service order if required. In the case doc flow, you can see the service order that was created along with the external service order that was created in S4 system. Thereby, the agent can holistically solve the issue with the customer rather than going into individual transaction. The case can be the reference point for the customer as well as the agent. Going back to the agent desktop in the customer hub after the customer identification, if the customer has any query about the service order which we created, one can see all the information of the service order that was created, the priority change, even the change in the status which came from S4. All the information status which is coming from the backend are reflected directly in the timeline. Thereby, the agent does not have to navigate to multiple documents. This makes the processing customer centric rather than operation centric. Now let's just take a service order which has already been completed and show how it looks like. One can easily come to this particular service order result list from the service order menu, and we have a lot of quick filters which can be seen as well as the advanced filter. Additionally, you can create your custom filter which I plan to use. So this is a service order which has been completed in the backend system and it has come back as completed. Would like to highlight that once the the S4 service order is released, we will get an FSM external ID which will be also replicated back to CNS so that the agent can identify a customer service order based on the external FSM ID as well. Coming back to the items, we can see that additional items which are replicated from or sent back to from FSM to S4 are also replicated back to Service Cloud V2 along with the status. Another key information which also comes back to Service Cloud V2 is the planned date for the technician to arrive at the customer place, which we get back from FSM to S4 and from S4 to V2. So thereby the agent can directly confirm the customer when the agent is planned to visit. Lastly, as part of extensibility via the mashup, if the agent needs to go back to the S4 transaction to see some more details which are not applicable, it's also possible. They can do it via the mashup extensibility tool, and also we allow the extensibility of header as well as the item fields. To sum up, what we saw was the integrated service order process in Service Cloud V2 and how it adds value by making it more customer centric than operational centric. Now let's jump into simple setup that needs to be done in V2 for this integration. I am in the settings where when you search with service order, we can see all the configuration required for service order, basically the types, the priorities. All this can be configured and you can create your custom type as well, the user status in the header, the reason for rejection in case you're rejecting the service order, item status, item categories, and the party schema. Navigating into some of them, for example, for this order types, you can create all your standard. So we ship a standard service order, but you can create a custom ones. Similarly, you can also define your priorities, though we have the standard one as well. So item categories, where you can define your custom item categories and map them with the corresponding S4. Under the integration in the value mapping, we also provide the value mapping for the order priority, type, user status, rejection reason, distribution channel, division, categories, unit of measure, and party role, so that all this information can be mapped to different S4 codes. Lastly, as part of integration setup, we have the inbound configurations for getting the confirmation of service order, the asynchronous outbound configuration to replicate to the external system. So we have a setup for our webhooks, which we allow for the external pricing simulation and also for the contract and warranty determination. Thank you. I hope you like this customer-centric service order in V2. See you next time.